Good afternoon. My name is Carmen Alicia Osuna Salazar. I'm going to talk about chapter number 4, formal, informal, and self-assessment techniques. We are talking about first informal assessment. Informal assessment is a way of collecting information about our students for performance in normal classroom conditions. Since the majority of assessment that is undertaken daily in class is informal, when we are in the classroom, we are assessing our students when they speak, when they write, when they read, and when they listen. This is informal assessment. Band scales. We need to have a system which assures some degree of reliability in our informal assessment of student performance. This is a simple band scale for the skill of speaking. There are only 5. It's an easy one. There are 2 types of scale. The first one is holistic or global scales. This gives overall description of ability. Student performance is matched to one of the bands. For example, this is from the speaking skill. And we have from 0 to 9. The expert speaker, this is non-speaker, not able to understand or to speak. The second one is analytic scales. These separate out aspects of language performance into individual scales, giving a profile for performance. For example, here are appropriateness, adequacy of vocabulary, grammatical, intelligibility, fluency, relevance, and adequacy of content. This is one criteria assessment. Self-assessment. Dickinson points out that many learners develop informal self-assessment devices which they use to monitor their progress. Examples, by attempting to read a newspaper to check your reading proficiency, by listening to the radio to the listening comprehension. And with the self-assessment, you realize if you need help. I don't understand this. I'm not ready to move on yet. I need more to do more activities. I'm getting there. I almost learning. I need a bit of help. I'm a bit unsure. I might need to practice. You need to practice more. And the last one, I can do this. I'm ready to try something new. I learned that topic and I want to continue with the next topic. Dickinson also established techniques for self-assessment. For formative assessment, he suggests that learners can design their own tests or administer those written by others. Learners can be responsible for marking their own tests. This can be extended into self-help. Students can get together to comment on the parts of the test without the teacher interference. Orkanson and Clark suggest the use of self-assessment in placement testing. When I want to study English, but I know a little English, I have to take a placement testing to see in which level I'm going to start. Harris and McCann emphasize the need to prepare the ground for self-assessment. Formal assessment. And this is the level started. I'm going to start learning elementary. I know something intermediate, upper intermediate, expert, and this is the mastery. This is the level. So I have to if I know a little, I have to take a placement testing to see in which level I have to continue. Formal assessment, objective testing techniques. Discrete points techniques are those which lead to objective scoring and are usually associated with the testing of aspects of grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation, although more recently have been developed for the testing of the receptive skill, reading, and listening. Objective testing usually had only one correct answer, or at least a limited number of correct answers. They can be scored mechanically. Can be used to test a specific area of language. For example, elements of grammar, vocabulary, spelling and punctuation, pronunciation, intonation, and stress. Depends on student's knowledge. Discrete points techniques. This is transformation. There is a sentence, John Brown is a very fast runner, and we had to transform the first sentence into another one. Completion, the time is now half, and there is here a word, I have to complete this sentence. Combination, there are here two sentences, Anne did her homework, then she went swimming, and I'm going to combine these two sentences with after. I have to introduce, to put that word after. Addition, grammar. Haven't you seen this film? And we have to add this word, yet. Rearrangement. We also call this to put the words in order. Correct, incorrect, or true or false. Put a tick if the statement is correct, or a cross if it's incorrect. With our students, we use more the write a T if it is true, or F it is false. And here are two sentences that we have to put if the T, if that one is true, or F, if that one is false. Matching elements. Put each word into the correct column. Bed, bus, car, chair, cow, desk, dog, horse, train. Which are animals? Which one are furniture? Or which one is means of transportation? With the matching elements, we can do a lot of things. For example, with the instruments, with the musical instruments. For example, guitar, cymbals, violin, drums, which other one? Piano, accordion, and we have which one are winds, which one is strings, and which one is percussion. We have to put those instrument elements in the correct column. Dual choice. Here are two sentences, and we have to see if the meaning of these two sentences is the same or is different. And multiple choice. Water, there is something missing here of, and we have 4 options. Which one is the correct to put here in the multiple choice? Integrative objective testing techniques. The term integrative was associated with first generation testing, which used subjective techniques to test a wide range of language skills at one time. Integrative tests. Integrative comprehension of words and the ability to use them correctly. Here are 3 word paralysis, accident, and football. And we have to make maybe a sentences and use those 3 words. Comprehension of words and the ability to use them correctly in a content. Improve multiple choice. The question might ask the student to answer about a wider range of sources, several tests rather than only one. Learners might make their choice by reacting to the whole of a test rather than the small parts of it. There might be several right answers. A summary of part of the content of a small test we apply equally to 2 of the test. And here is an example. Multiple matching. Learners are given 2 lists of things to match. One in the first column has to be matched with something in the second column. Example, 5 short extras and a summary of each of them. The learner has to match each summary to each extra. And here is an example. When we made a certification TKT 1, 2, and 3, they use this one, multiple matching. They put a column with several strats, and we have to match only like here. This is the column, and we have to put in here the one. The TKT 1, 2, or 3 use this type of multiple matching. Dictation. In order to complete a dictation successfully, a learner has to use a range of decoding skills, isolating words from the sound chain, predicting and processing lexical and grammatical possibilities, using contextual cues to resolve homophones and ambiguities. Dictation, listen and write. With the elementary skills, when I dictate him some word easy, like for example, apple, and they already know the alphabet. So I say A, P, P, L, E. And they were apple, if they know, example, Sunday, S-U-N-D-A-Y. I give the cue, a little help for the dictation. Information transfer. This refers to techniques which use pictures, diagrams, maps, or other visuals to provide information which learner must convert to another form. This can be used to test active that is speaking and writing, or passive skill that is reading and listening. Information transfer techniques are most obvious in skill testing. For example, this is one information transfer. It can be for 5th grade. This is what his name. This is here the boy, and his name, Joe. How old is he? He's 7. What's his favorite toy? Here is the toy. His favorite toy. And here is another one. It's an easy for 1st grade elementary school. Easy transfer, information transfer. Close procedure. In testing involves deleting words from a test at intervals. The task set is to restore missing words. Words might be deleted at regular intervals every 7 words, for example. Particular classes of words might be deleted. The learner might be offered multiple choice answer to the gaps. And here is one example. It's also for elementary school. There are here in the chart, we have one word, and this is sentences. It is had in, the Alicia and color in, they have to choose one word from the multiple choice to answer these gaps. Objective testing evaluated. Objective testing techniques are indicated whenever it is desirable to test isolated items of language, whether they be a grammar, pronunciation, or a lexical item. Integrated objective testing techniques are indicated for testing receptive language, reading and listening comprehension, and for recognition of grammar or vocabulary. Are often preferred in situations where a lot stands to be gained or lost from the results of a test. In the IELTS, we use this test. It's a proficiency test used as a requirement sometimes to, if I want to study the university or more, maybe sometimes a master, they need, they want that we make a test to see what is our level of English. And IELTS is one of the tests, of also the TOEFL, IBT, and there are many tests that we can take to see what is our level of English. Subjective testing techniques. Subjective techniques evolve around the need to assess sample simulation of real-life language use. It is the emphasis on the simulation of real life that has become the hallmark of communicative tests. More or less 7 features of ordinary communicative situation. The first one is interaction-based, unpredictability, context, purpose, performance, authenticity, and behavior-based. Subjective techniques evaluated. Practicality associated with communicative tests involve large number of markers and more time. It is a much slower process than objective scoring and might require 2 assessors for double marking. There are more costly to run. Practicality. We want a test that it refers to the amount of time, effort, and money in testing. In other words, a test might be easy to design, easy to administer, and easy to score. Reliability. Rating scale has reduced the subjectivity of the scoring, while the use of rating scale reduces unreliability. It cannot be removed completely. To gain in validity of testing communication has to be offset against this loss of reliability. Reliability, production of consistent, replicable outcome, suspension based on past data, use of limited number of objective variables, minimization of judgment, avoidance of the possibility of bias. Assessment of speaking production, current picture. Communicative testing for success might be based on the following points. Speaking tests should be integrative in nature. They must be scored subjectively. The use of well-constructed scale and examiner training will compensate for the loss of reliability introduced by the subjective scoring. The choice of reality style will give a good measure of performance in real life situations. Such speaking test items will have high face and content, validity, and positive watch back and watch forward effect, since they clearly related to the learner's need in real life. Assessment of writing. Current testing practice in writing suggests the need for real-world tasks. They reflect real language use and therefore can be used to predict language performance. Current practice solves the problem of reliability through the construction and use of a rating scale and the training of examiner. Way 1993 uses the same three-part framework: conditions, operations, and quality of output to try to establish what should go into the writing test. He summarizes the mismatch between the current idea of writing as a process oriented involving draft and collaboration and the product-oriented testing techniques usually associated with tests of writing. Assessment of reading. The use of more authentic test types and associated real purposes for reading has become prevalent. The choice of a task which will be useful to the learner in their later use of language is also important. This depends heavily on the specific needs of the learner. Preference is given to integrative objective tests of reading. Reading is thinking. I wonder. Assessment of listening. The language tester has to decide whether the learning purpose in listening is best served by a specific task or by global understanding of that test. Listening tests often require the learner to read in order to make a response, to remember, or to take notes. Many real-life listening tasks ask for similar use of other skills. It is a consideration in the design of tests, since an assessment of performance can be mediated by the requirement of answering the question. Listening tests. Conclusion. Assessing our students, it is very important because with this we realize which students are performing well and which ones require more help. They need more feedback. Also, we need to take into account the attention span, especially with young learners. So we need to change activities every 15 minutes. And in this way, we keep students' attention. We are continuously assessing our student performance with observation in class and monitoring them when they are doing their activity, when they participate. And also, this is called informal assessment, the one that we do in the class. And the formal assessment is the way to check our students' performance objectively with exams, quizzes, which are the main tools to do this. Not only these two, there are many, but this is the most common that we use to test our students. Reason for testing, because it is a part of the learning process. And let us to know what the students know and what they can do with the language. With this, we realize of the strengths and the weakness of the student. And we can reinforce the weaknesses with different tasks, what they need to learn. How to make testing more productive? By planning activities that catch our students' attention, with more dynamic activities, with songs, with different tasks and activities related to the topic, so they can learn the word. that we are going to test to prepare them previously with similar tasks that it will be on the exam. Doing this, we are going to see which problem they are presenting with the topic, and we can give them effective feedback before the test. Alternative to testing, we can make a checklist of the students that are doing well and which ones need help. Also, the students' notebooks help us to test them, because in there we can realize all the students' achievement in each task. Monitoring constantly when they are doing the task and register if someone is having problem with the task and which one are performing well. Thank you so much. That's all.